It looks so professional, the countdown from 3, 2, 1, and then your life. So I'm very excited about today and again having the topic of AI. So welcome everybody to today's LinkedIn Live. This is a revisit of the Lean Leader Summit. So we had a panel at the Lean Leader Summit, and André was one of the panelists, and Rasmus was not only a speaker, but then also signed up voluntarily to be the buddy of André for putting insights into action, which was kind of like one of the themes at the end of the conference and also the panel, to really look into AI and how to like make AI work in reality. So if we come back to the conference, the Lean Leader Summit in July in Munich, maybe you can tell me one or two things that you took away from the conference.
Yeah, maybe I can pick that up and start, if that's okay for you, Rasmus.
Yeah.
So just to reflect on that, I think it was a super good event, so very well organized. Thanks again to the Lean 42 in that case. I really enjoyed it. So when I traveled there, I had no real expectation, to be honest, because it was really organized a bit from a different part of the organization. You know, we had that merger with the three companies of us, and it was already I think the other part of the organization were joining, I think, third year or something in a row. So it was well organized, and we just shipped in there last minute. So we had no real expectation. But I must say, really, I enjoyed it. So it was really, really well organized. Of course, standard stuff like connecting to the different people, building networks, so learning new people, meeting new people, that's always super valuable. So definitely, I mean, that's also core of such a conference. But if it goes to content, I think it was also quite interesting to see giving a different perspective on the specifically EA and AI. So when I just rethink about what was part of the conversation, I think, Carsten, you opened that with that great speech at that point in time where you said, right, this arm exercise and changing that. And I think that was really sticky. So it's always, I mean, these kind of stories and pictures, they are really sticky. And it really showed a bit how uncomfortable it is to do a change. I think that was a key message of that exercise. And I think even the rest of the conference, it was all about these cultural change, how uncomfortable people are to change. And we are right now where we need to change, using also AI and talking about AI adoption in the organization. So that is a cultural change, and people just feel uncomfortable to do it. So that is something where I think was really good insights at the conference, also from the different speakers, to see how did they overcome that, putting that change of people change, cultural change in the front and center of such an organization. So that is a clear takeaway that I had.
Nice, great. Thank you, André. Rasmus.
Yeah. To follow up on that, so I had a speak on agile transformation and how enterprise architecture can help drive that, and that also encourages a lot of change in order to do that. And I found it really interesting also to hear the other perspectives on how to approach that, how to approach an agile transformation. What do you need to be aware of, and who do you need in on your journey and to succeed. So one of the key takeaways I took was one of the talks on the people have spoken. Uh, Brought a lot of insights into the different stakeholders you need to be aware of, not just the upper management, also middle management, and how they can hinder or help you in the way and what you want to do to succeed a lot. And then there was the panel debate and the call out for a buddy for Andre, and in the theme of the conference, where it is not a huge the largest conference in the world, so it's more intimate and more close networking, I think, as well, and I really like that idea to try and help Andre and on his journey as well, and becoming a buddy with him, and see if we could spar on some different aspects, and especially within the AI area, on how to get further with that and within our different organizations.
Excellent. Thank you. I think you both mentioned kind of like the networking and the mutual learning and getting also insight. Like even as a speaker, as you said, Rasmus, you were excited to learn like from others and also probably getting some comments and some feedback on how you are doing your practice, and it's always something that I found valuable. And I know from both of you, also the interesting part, André, you talked to some customers of Alphabet that you haven't met before, and they haven't met you. And I think what I also heard afterwards, after the conference, was like that was really great to make those connections and work together. And also, like for you, Rasmus, your tool vendor was also there, and it was kind of like good for them to meet a customer as well that they haven't like talked to that much before. So it's I think always something that is interesting to have those connections, but also, as you mentioned, across other speakers, industry analysts, etc. But coming back to kind of like the topic, I think what you picked was turning AI ideas into real results. So looking at that, how much was the buddy helpful? How much did it push you? And do you already made any progress anywhere, or is it something that is still hard to do in your organizations?
Yeah, if I should start with that one, I think I might not have been the best buddy in that regard. That business as usual hit, and in Norlys we are currently undergoing a big integration of a mobile company, and we are looking into big changes within our energy department as well, along with multiple different restructurings as well. So a lot of business has been going on. So finding the time to reach out to André has been lacking, so to speak. So I might not have been the best buddy, but we're trying to pick it up again here a few weeks, a month or two ago, and see how are we actually, where are we, and André can elaborate on his situation there as well, and where you're at now.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, yes, I mean, obviously we also had the summer break between us. That was also clear after the conference. It was essentially, that was the last peak, and then everybody dropped his pen and was off more or less. So it was a bit less time than we were hoping. But I think then when we started to catch up, I think we had 1-2 exchanges between Rasmus and myself. I think that's valuable to just talk to somebody else outside your day-to-day work. So really thinking, okay, now I have a meeting with Rasmus, so I need to think about it, and that is already a super helpful concept, because otherwise, as Rasmus said, same for me, business as usual is the biggest roadblock, right? So it's always on the agenda of every cross-functional team meeting. Somebody says, yeah, we need to talk about it. Let's put our ideas on it. If it's just a team meeting itself, it's on the agenda, but suddenly as soon as it's there, we know we want to talk about it with a team, cross-team, whatever. As soon as the other topics, immediate impacts, whatever from the business comes in, it drops automatically always down. Everybody knows, okay, we need to talk it, we want to do it, the organization is ready, but then it always drops down. So the business as usual is catching up. I think interesting when I spoke to Rasmus is that I understood now that there's already something like an AI department or something, so really centralized function available for that. I think that was a good takeaway. So in the coming weeks and months, whatever it takes, I think it's interesting to bring that idea also into our organization. We know there is somehow the awareness is there. Currently, it's more allocated at our chief strategy officer, so it's a bit different department from that where I'm responsible for, and the rest of the organization is waiting that it's driven by them, but it's not really happening, of course, because they're also business with the day-to-day work. But that idea to have a dedicated AI department, I think, really makes sense. So it's a lessons learned that I got from Rasmus when he explained that concept. I said, yeah, that would make sense. So I should bring that idea to the organization to say, hey, we need people who are really a bit more focus on that topic that you can reach out to, that you can talk to. I think that is what we're lacking at the moment a bit. Yeah, so it's really bottom up. Individuals are trying to explore things as it is, right? So people are curious. Some people are curious. Others are really have a immediate need, so they're trying things out. But there's no governance, nobody to talk to, nothing really established in the organization that helps to accelerate.
Interesting. So if I think you're or we all struggle in that regard. It's not something where I have seen the organization where everything is governed, everything is kind of like with a AI strategy formalized. Also, we help organizations with formalizing their AI strategy. So just a side plug here, if you want to have an AI strategy, come see us. We have done a couple of those and helped organization get a more structured approach. nevertheless, most organizations struggle. And the question is to you, Rasmus. Then, what is the AI at Norlys? How do you see it? Maybe already different or at the forefront compared to some other organizations? And is it more focused on kind of like business parts, or is it more AI within IT, within EA, within kind of like standard data governance parts?
Yeah, so we kind of looking into different tracks on that regard. So one of the main aspect is really we need to provide value. It could be improving the workforce internally or provide value for our customers. So that is also separated into tracks, where one of them is how can we improve our customer service agents and our customer service towards to the customers. And as I mentioned here, with integration of a mobile company, they had some chat agent, AI agent. We had some in our different industry stacks internally as well, trying to consolidate that and provide it in a way where you can actually provide value across the company, so across our different stacks: mobile, fixed telco business, and energy business. So that is one way to try and improve the customer experience, both when they call in, and our customer agents can use these agents to look up information. Next step would be, can we build an AI agent that can do different things for our customer agents? Can they do a provisioning? Can it make an mobile subscription, and so forth? So that is kind of one track, trying to improve that leg of it. And then there is another one that is like the workforce internally, how we work and how can we improve that. There is a Copilot, there is a ChatGPT. You can get integrated systems into Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and these tools. And also as an enterprise architect position and role here, we often have a lot of documentation. We need to go through large documents, design documents, and so forth. AI that can then be utilized to make a resume, a sum up of what are the most important aspects within these. What are the key decisions that are mentioned in this 200-page document? That would really be valuable, and also something we are looking into. We've actually just been through this, where we were like, we could really have used an AI tool to help us in this, because it's a few 100-page long document with with vendor that needs and has a tight deadline. Multiple different people have been in writing it, so some aspects are written in one way, others in another way, and if the AI could sum that up, that would be perfect. We tried it out and got some benefit of it, and could also see it lacking in different areas that we would then look at improving in the future. So that are kind of like the two aspects of it, but always focus on providing value. So where does it actually provide value in the end? And we're also lucky that our head of our IT department is very engaged within AI as well. So it's also pushed from the top that AI can help improve, and he also shows how he uses it to improve his day and his workflow. So that also encourages us to see how we can use it. It's there's a positive impact in that kind. So that's the main for the AI part.
Yeah, I think it always helps if you do have a role model that's kind of like showing to use it, and kind of like with that comes a little bit a cultural aspect of just like trying it out and potentially missing something, but still learning and growing as an organization. So because learning is part, I also wanted to plug into here that for the audience that's listening to this live or watching a rerun of it, feel free to ask questions or comment here, and we will also monitor this. And for even more learning, because we had, this is kind of like a follow-up from the LeanLeaderSummit this year, we have already next year in the calendar, June 10th, 11th, and you can already sign up today, get your ticket. There's some early bird pricing available. Make sure, because we actually sold out this year. So we were packed, and hope to sell out again next year. But if you want to make sure to not miss the show, sign up now. But coming back, or from the Lean Leader Summit, and looking into kind of like how to move some learnings into actions, but also looking at AI ideas. And André, you mentioned kind of like that there is a little bit of a hold in your organization, or waiting kind of like for some strategy to be defined around AI. Is it yet the case that you and your colleagues are still using AI for, as Rasmus mentioned, probably like some summaries of documents, or writing some text, or things like that? What's kind of like the usage of AI so far in your organization, or when was the last time you used it?
I actually use it also quite often. This Copilot or something is commonly used in the team. I believe that's quite useful. But as mentioned before, it's really, I think, more driven by individuals. So it's really a bottom-up approach. Individuals do see the value of it and are curious and try to explore things. And I think it's happening in every department. Wherever you look, it's happening. So even if you look at, for instance, the sales organization, bid management, they are using AI tool to go through all of these RFPs that they've answered before to find the best suitable answer. It helps them immense. I mean, obviously, right? Other things like even our UX UI designers, I say, if I do something, I can just push a button and the AI helps to generate a mock-up or something that I can talk to you and show it and see what it will look like to get immediate feedback. That saves me so much time. So all of them are doing that, yes, but always is a question from the compliance point of view. Are we allowed to it? What does it mean? What does it? Where does the data go? Are we sure about it? So we have addressed that topic once in a while. Where we said we encourage them to do that, explore that as soon as they have an opinion that it really does deliver value, because it's also important what Rasmus says. It has to provide value, not just because it's fancy doing it, but where it really helps. And this bottom-up approach, I think, really surfaces these use cases where it does provide value because it's an immediate need from the people. But then as soon as you're a bit mature, that you know it's going to help, that you have explored it enough, then simply reach out to the security team, just get a quick check on it, something like that, so that you have to tick the box, and then go ahead and use it and enjoy it, and then be the role model, right? And do something like this cultural change, show others, hey, I'm doing that right now, I'm saving so much time, it's so helpful, and it's also different way of working. And I hope that we can somehow that way spread that message into the organization and drive adoption from that point of view, while still using the approach from Rasmus, saying also probably a good idea to somewhere make sure that we have something like a central go-to point where we can get all of that confidence regarding compliance and do's and don't do's, or whatever it is. It can be something simple like these 10 points that you should consider. If it's a free tool, probably be a bit more cautious, whether it's a paid version. Simple things like that could really help, right, to give the guidance.
Nice. Is it something where you've seen, like it's a question to both of you, where AI is hardly delivering the value, or have you seen it more like whenever you tried it, or when in your organization, like the chatbot or like the mock-up, it actually was surprisingly how much value it delivered? Where do you see that? Is it kind of like more on the, ooh, it's more than I expected, or is it more like, no, I'm actually more disappointed than it, like I see the value?
Yeah, maybe I can just quickly add to that. So again, I think we have these two tracks that we as a tool vendor, of course, also need to have that in our tool. Everybody's expecting that from us, where we clearly have to focus on the value, making sure that we deliver value to the customers and not only tick the box. So that is, I think, key. That is still a bit difficult. I mean, we do see it. We have a lot of talks to clients and also the analysts, and it starts to materialize a bit. So we are quite well there. But I think definitely from the bottom-up approach, where people really try it out because they have the need, that is really impressive how it then helps, like the UX designers, bid managers, how more productive they are. I think it's really nice to speak to these guys and see when they proudly present their result and say, hey, I can be so much more productive. It's so helpful. I enjoy it. And this boring stuff is aside now and those kind of things. So it's really, I think, really impressive how it helps for these use cases, definitely.
Yeah, I completely agree, Andre. And also with, especially in within our customer service, how much it can improve there. If there's something a detail you don't remember, you can ask the AI that is
Mm.
loaded with our knowledge base and all the documents on how to do different things, and they get the answer really quick. And an area where where I at least see some of the AI struggling is actually with the Danish language. So just we're using
Yeah.
Teams. The transcription of a meeting where we speak Danish, that is off still. So there's still some quirks going on when we stay in our native language.
Hmm. I think that's a good point. I personally use very often first a English prompt and English everything, and then at the end it's kind of like now translate or now give it back to me in German, to leave the standard AI models to think in their kind of like native language, which is I think is more English. And I ran into at another conference into um, guys that did from the Fraunhofer Institute. They developed a European language or LLM specifically for those reasons, as you stated, Rasmus, but also for compute reasons, because the standard LLMs that are out there, if you ask them something in Danish, they like have a much higher compute that they need to do this,
Mm.
versus if you ask them in English. And the European model there is actually like much more efficient with all the European languages. But that's just kind of like a side note that I found interesting.
Interesting.
So looking into again more action. So of course, the best thing is to sign up for next year's conference, and I hope to see you two as well next year at the Lean Leader Summit. But what are you taking away for kind of like the upcoming weeks now? Kind of like, again, will you meet again as buddies, and how is can it be helpful to have a buddy to move some of that accountability and move things into action?
Yeah, so for me to start with, I'm going on a long autumn holiday here soon. So going to Spain. So that will be the next steps for me here. But yeah, no jokes aside, we'll definitely look into how we can, at least in my team, how we can utilize AI to improve the workflow we have with these long documents, design documents that we receive. We need to speed up that process, because when we have these huge transformations going on, your vendor has multiple hundred people working day and night, and you are a team of 8-10 people that needs to somehow to follow this flow, and we need assistance in order to do that. So that is definitely something I will be looking into as well here.
Sounds good.
Interesting, Rasmus, because we are delivering from the other side. We are actual vendors, so we have to deliver that, and that's actually a feature that is right now in the development, will be released soon, is really the AI to use our documentation for our users using our tools. So they can just ask questions if it's more on the technical side or from a use case point of view to really get meaningful answers. So that's really promising. So I'm really looking forward that that's going to be released. That is what I think we are always focusing on these features that we have in our products by nature. So follow up on that from what you also asked, Carsten. I think I would like to follow up with you, Rasmus. I think it's
Yeah.
valuable. Acknowledging that you're off, we have also a lot of reorganizations again, and as it is daily work. But I think it's valuable to have something in the calendar saying, hey, at that point in time, I'm just going to have half an hour chat to Rasmus to see how are things going and how is it progressing, forcing you to really think about it and just take a break and think about what you're going to chat. So that is already helpful and makes you already steps forward. So would like to do that, yes.
Yeah.
And maybe next year in, when is it, June, seeing you at the conference again in Munich.
Excellent. I think that was a perfect closing remarks, Andre, here. So thank you so much for your time today. Thank you, everybody who listened in or watched it. Feel free to leave a comment. We just got one comment with a big thumbs up. So no questions were online so far. But if you still have questions, feel free to post them. And I know André, Rasmus, you're also on LinkedIn and monitoring, so we'll get some responses to you for sure. And with that, happy learning with AI, growing, maturing, and maybe formalizing that AI strategy at one point. So if you need help,
Thank you.
let me know.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank
Have
you,
a good one.
Carsten.